It's not easy being in a hyper growth environment. It's not for everybody, So, so we kind of have those candid conversations to say, look, we're going to give you this job description, but very clearly in 3 months, it's probably not going to look a whole lot like it did 3 months ago, and we just need you to know that and to be honest about that. But as we grow, it's an exciting environment to be in, but it's not for those employees that want to be in a box and always want to do the same thing.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Jeanne David. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
The power of empathy is something that you must understand if you want to be a great leader. Empathy is that little things that you do and say and really when you pay attention to others so that they actually feel understood. They feel respected. They feel heard by you. Empathy is such an important aspect of leadership that many people focus on the to-do list, the email list, the projects, the deadlines, the metrics of their business. Don't measure empathy in a traditional way, but the power of empathy as a leader is something that will drive your business forward if you know how to use it. This isn't something that you use like a can opener or something you use to pump up your tires, but you use this as a way to connect with people. Empathy is the powerful way to connect with your people. Today, our special guest is Jeanne David. She is the founder CEO of Outer Aisle Gourmet. They make amazing cauliflower pizza crust, among other things. But when you think about growing a company to 63rd on the Inc. list, over 10 million, having over 100 employees, you may think that you can't be empathetic at scale. Maybe that works for companies that have 10 employees, maybe 20, but then you start to lose something. Well, if you make up that story in your mind, then you definitely will lose something. But if you have the kind of ability and drive to be empathetic and to use the power of empathy as a leader, then you actually find that you can actually connect with people in a way that they really will be more loyal, more creative. They'll show up with more ownership than ever before. What we talk about today will help you understand empathy, how to use it as a leader. Let me pause here for a second. Before we jump into the interview, I want to remind you, if you are a leader that's wanting to push the boundaries of who you are, to go from founder to CEO, or to be a stronger leader, more visionary, strategic leader, then you probably have to let go of some things. Maybe you have to identify the blind spots in front of you. Well, if you want to do that with me, just go to jeannehammett.com and you can actually see a button in the top menu that says Try Coaching. What is that? A chance for you to connect with me one-on-one, just you and me, talk about your work, what you're trying to create, and I can help you through it. I'm not there to enroll you as a client, but to just get to know you and really connect with you about what's going on right now so that we can actually see if there's a chance we could work together down the road. So if you'll use that, just go to jeannehammett.com and find the button for Try Coaching. Now here's the interview with Jeanne. Jeanne, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Excited to have you on. It's really exciting to talk to someone that has health first and foremost as a part of their life, but you created a business around this. So tell us a little bit about Outer Aisle.
Yeah, so we're fresh cauliflower-based products, so low glycemic, 63% fresh vegetables, little bit of Parmesan cheese and egg to give you some protein in there as well. And it came out of our own lifestyle shift 10 years ago. So
I've tried some of these products before.
Our pizza crust.
I've tried some of these cauliflower pizza crusts. You can't tell the difference unless you're really thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they're delicious, really delicious. And best part is you don't have the carb crash.
Exactly. So Jeanne, you have been fortunate enough to align a team around some fast growth. You were number 63 on the Inc. list this year. How did it feel to be ranked so high in that growth list?
It felt great. Really fun to be recognized for our crazy hard work. And so.
When you think about this, I've always kind of joked that, leaders can be a dominant force on their own, but they couldn't get to this level of growth without a team. So when you look and think about your team, one of the things that we have found out about your company is that empathy is something that you pride yourself in as a way to connect with people. Tell us a little bit about how empathy is used in your company.
I would say it's really huge. It's really big. I'll use an example. It's when we first started, one of my goals was to create a company that would allow give young people a platform to launch their lives, and just how rewarding that would be in serving others and serving them. I really believe in servant leadership. And in leading that way, it's always about empathy, because you're always looking for ways to find out what's important to your employees. I'll tell a story about our son, who's a COO, went to Chipotle every day, getting his chicken bowl, and he would talk to the manager there and just knew what an incredible work ethic this guy had, and just talked to him about his life a little bit. And we ended up hiring that guy, and he was so excited about going in and offering him a job, just because we knew we could give him we saw in him a lot of things that were really high quality, and so he's one of our best employees today, and loves the atmosphere, loves just the gratitude and the empathy that we incorporate in our company. And he's been able to just say, this is where I'd like to be. He just most recently is now heading all of our purchasing, and he's just our guy. Whenever we need something, which in a growing company, that's a lot all the time. Holes present themselves, and so he's just our projects guy. Whatever presents itself, like, you need to be on this, can we get you to do this? And he's just amazing. So, yeah.
So Jeanne, you talked about empathy there. I'd love for us to kind of go behind the scenes. What would it look like for empathy to be present in a company like yours?
So one of the things I do is gratitudes. Gratitudes is a big part of empathy, because what it does is, while gratitudes is an amazing practice in itself, we know, and science knows, that it has the power to transform your brain and change neurologically the way your brain is, by doing, like, if you do a 21-day practice of gratitudes, they say it shifts things. So we love that. It's something I've always practiced, something we really like to practice. So what it looks like is, I'll do a walk around our office, and I always do it on a random day of the week, because different days of the week have different things going on, right? Like Monday, it's all about the weekend, and Friday, it's all about, I'm looking forward to this. So I try to mix it up. But I'll just pop in their office and say, so what are you grateful for today? And I hear what they're grateful for, but more of what it does is it gives me a window for empathy. I'll use this guy as an example. He came in, and I came by his office and said, so what are you grateful for today? And he goes, I'm so grateful that my dad's doing better. It was a rough weekend, but today he's doing better. And it allowed me to say, oh, wow, I'm so sorry to hear that your dad's not doing well. Do you want to talk more about that? And so it just allows you that time to connect on a personal level, and then also gives you an opportunity to then thank them. Whatever we're grateful for, and whatever that little conversation holds, it also then holds an opportunity for me to say, hey, thanks for working for Outer Aisle. We really appreciate all you do for us.
Hold on for a second. Jeanne just said something that's really important. She talked about walking around and connecting with her employees kind of on random days. Well, this is called management by walking around. You may have heard this before, but Tom Peters actually made this famous in one of his books. Management by walking around is something that you can actually do and leverage more of a connection with your people, to see what's going on, for them to be able to share with you, not just inside the meetings, but in real everyday life, you stopping by their desk. You may think that's a distraction, and it could be, but if you don't do it, you'll miss the opportunity to bond with them beyond just the time you have with them in meetings, the time you have with them when they're giving reports and things like that. You want to make sure that you're tuning in to not just the work stuff, but also the personal stuff too. The examples that Jeanne gave there is absolutely perfect if you want to be more empathetic, walking around and connecting with them in that way. But you can do it for other reasons as well and have great benefits. management by walking around. That's my take on it. So back to the interview with Jeanne. That's a great example. A lot of people know what empathy is from a definition standpoint. Do you have a definition that you could share with us?
I actually don't have a definition handy.
How would you just describe it?
I would just, to me, empathy is about being willing to go where other people are feeling and being willing to go there with them and being vulnerable yourself. So being willing to share their feelings and where they are and having compassion.
So we got to dive into this too, because a lot of leaders are so focused on the work that has to be get done, the projects, the deadlines, the issues, challenges, the metrics. Sharing feelings is, a lot of people think that that's not a part of leadership, but I think you see that differently.
Right. Oh, I definitely do, because what it does is it creates a connection. It creates a connection. We're all humans, and we all are and seek connection. We all want to be known. We all want to be loved. We all want to be seen, and at our deepest need. And so I think as a leader, it's an amazing way to connect your employee to your mission and who you are, as opposed to just working for a company. It helps them get into the DNA of the work that we're doing.
Now, I know you've probably worked in other places before you had this venture. Did you have leaders that were empathetic, or did you have more of the hard driving kind of just get the work done and get on?
Yeah, no, I did not have empathetic leaders. I just knew from reading leadership books that I liked, that's the kind of leadership I wanted that's the kind of leader I wanted to be. So my leaders, I've never really had one, as far as in the work environment. No, my most recent job was more, hard driving.
Well, let's look at that leader that you wanted to be. And I know that a lot of things are still aspirational because we're all still learning and evolving. But when you set out to create a brand and create a business and create people and have a team, did you have that clearly defined, what kind of leader you wanted to be?
Yeah, I really did know that servant leadership was the way I wanted to lead. I knew that was what I wanted to do, definitely.
Let's look at what this servant leadership is. You've heard it before, but a very simple way to think about it is take the traditional organizational chart where it's a triangle, where the CEO sits at the top and everyone else kind of comes in below that. And you have your frontline employees at the very bottom of this, the widest part of the triangle. Well, servant leadership is a way for you to think about how you serve your others by flipping that triangle upside down so that you actually are serving the level above you. You're serving the executive team, and then they're serving their directors and middle level management, and they're serving the frontline employees. So if you have a very simple company, you may not have that many levels, but the idea of servant leadership is a very powerful one. You are serving others. Now, a lot of people kind of get this wrong, because in my early days of a leadership, I thought I was serving others by solving their problems. And one of the things I want to remind you of, solving their problems for them is not really serving them. You want to allow them to solve those problems themselves. That's what really is serving them looks like. So back to the interview with Jeanne. What did you feel like that it would give you that you probably weren't getting in your other previous employment opportunities?
I think it's incredibly fulfilling. It's fulfilling in one of those paradoxical ways, like I said, upside down kind of things. It's in giving that we receive. It's in, giving love that we receive love. It's all of those things. So I know it's in serving others that we're actually filled and feeling more fulfilled. And so.
Well, when you think about, what you're going to do from here, because when you have 100 employees, I think you've got a little bit more than that, but how do you scale out empathy over a company that's growing fast?
I'd say it really, the way I lead is, obviously I have our executive team. And so I lead by example at that level. And then each of those leaders have their own way of doing this, which is very amazing to see. But I think as the leader of the company, it's you lead you set the example for how everything else goes in the company. So, for instance, every Monday morning we have our executive call, and we always start with gratitudes. And that always gives me a window into what's going on with my executives. One of them's wife had cancer and was going through some serious stuff. And he actually, and I think he would be fine with me sharing this, said, "I'm grateful for alcohol." And we were all like, whoa, what's up with that? What kind of, but we all knew his wife was, that they had a lot going on. So it makes life real. I mean, we're not robots. We're employees, yes, but we're humans. And I just think now more than ever, people are longing for that connection.
Well, I appreciate what you've shared with us around that. I want to kind of switch gears here on you a little bit. You've been leading this team for a while now. You've hired some of the family members as well. You have probably made some mistakes in your journey. Has something come out that you could share with us that you felt like others could learn from?
One thing we're dealing with right now, it's kind of a specific thing. When we first came out, and it really has to do with CPG, we did not get GS1 compliant SKUs. And I don't know that everybody will understand that on this call, but anyway, there's now GS1 compliant. When we first came out, it wasn't. So now there's a bank that holds all the SKUs worldwide. And so because our first 2 SKUs were not compliant, we had to go through a SKU change. And that was very, very painful. So, big lesson learned. I would have done it earlier as opposed to, kicking the can down the road when we're distributed more widely. So that was a big thing we're learning now. I think clear expectations. I always say dysfunction lives in the gray areas, and I work hard with our executive team. Whenever you see a gray area, go at it hard and define, because we just want to go after that and make sure that there's clear expectations. It keeps everybody out of the dysfunction.
I love that comment of dysfunction. Let me back up for a second. The dysfunction is in the gray areas. When you are putting a light on that dysfunction, what's your style around that? Is it more of a direct style? Is it more of a coaching style? Or do you have to kind of, depending on the person?
I'd say it's more direct, because if there's a gray area and there's not clear expectation that's there, that's pretty direct. There's no way to kind of, you can coach through helping them get the right expectations in place, but very direct about that there's gray area here. This is not clearly defined. Let's make sure that happens.
Let's take one more break here. If you are listening to this on your phone, did you know that we have a YouTube channel? That YouTube channel has some content that you won't find here on the podcast. But if you go to that YouTube, or you go to jeannehammett.com/YouTube, you will actually be able to subscribe to all the content about being a great visionary leader. If you want to get growth think tank interviews there as well, you can do that too. Just go to jeannehammett.com/YouTube. I want to ask you a little bit about the day-to-day of leadership, because fast growth company founders, just like yourself, are pulled in many directions. How do you kind of set up your day to win? Is there certain techniques that you use that you could share with us?
I think it's very interesting. I think it's more and more, I'm not a big person who would talk about me time, right? But I do think it's super important, my morning routine, and that I stick with it and that I guard it, because I am the best me when I do this routine, when I get my run in, when I get my quiet time in the morning for an hour, when I hold off the day to do those things that are important in my life to take care of that. And during COVID, I was able to really kind of see like, hey, it's okay. Don't schedule any calls or meetings before 10 o'clock. Like, it's really okay to do that, regardless of what other people how they want to get on, when they want to schedule meetings. Like just put those parameters there and don't dive into the day until you're fully set. I think we become harried and get caught up in the hamster wheel that gets us into this burnout. So really guarding that time that continues to feed you and feed your soul and those things, and exercise to me is part of my morning as well.
Is there anything else inside that morning routine that you can share with us?
I mean, my thing is I get up early, 5:36. I take a drive to the coffee shop because it helps me. I'm kind of a kinetic person. I like to get up and move instead of get up and sit down. And so during that time, it allows me to just think and kind of, listen to fun music, gets me waking up. I come back, I read, I pray for an hour. I have that time for an hour. I do some journaling. I do my 3 gratitudes every morning, and then I go for a run. And so I have an hour of a run time, and then that puts me back in and ready to hit the day. So that's the routine I love to guard and keep. And if I need to break it, I can. I mean, it's not like the end of the world. I just know that everybody gets the better me when I do that.
Well, I can appreciate that. I have morning routines as well. When you think about leadership and growing a fast growth company, is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you feel like is kind of important to mention in growing a team that's aligned together?
I think it's really key. I have this conversation with our employees all the time to say, it's not easy being in a hyper growth environment. It's not for everybody, So we kind of have those candid conversations to say, look, we're going to give you this job description, but very clearly in 3 months, it's probably not going to look a whole lot like it did 3 months ago, and we just need you to know that and to be honest about that. But as we grow, it's an exciting environment to be in, but it's not for those employees that want to be in a box and always want to do the same thing. So I like to talk about that openly and let people know not everybody makes it in that environment, and that's okay. It is a unique environment. It's always high paced, always thinking out of the box, always pivoting, always trying to make sure we're communicating, and it's a lot. I mean, we're definitely a different company every 6 months, but every 3 months things look pretty dramatically different. Yeah.
Well, I can appreciate that because I've talked to so many people on this podcast, my clients as well. So I wanted to wrap this up, Jeanne, to really thank you for being here, sharing your wisdom.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was really great.
What a great interview. I love talking to Jeanne about all the things that she has been doing as a leader. Hopefully you've learned some of the things that you could be doing so that you can have a more empathetic approach to leadership. Now, when you think about your own journey as a leader, you have to reinvent yourself over time. You can't just continue with the same style and the same things you've always done. Jeanne even mentioned that how important it was to keep evolving as a company. You have to keep evolving as a leader. If you want to make sure that you stay on top of it, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Grow Think Tank. Stay connected with us. Check out what I do at Jeanne Hammett. There's a lot of free resources there for you. But also, when you think of leadership and you think of growth, think of Grow Think Tank. As always, lead with courage. We'll see you next time.